Welcome back, everybody, here to the Sports Zone here on Varsity Sports Network. I'm Bobby Latmore, and it has been a busy spring, folks, here in 2023. Right now, we're going to get you caught up on the latest on the baseball standings here for 2023, and the FHSAA just releasing the final regular season rankings that sets everything up for the district tournaments. We're going to go through every district, show you where everybody's placed after the rankings came out. We'll also go over the final rankings and show everybody where they ended up in the regular season and how many teams are on the bubble right now. They have to do well. They have to either win the district championship or do well in the districts to possibly move themselves up into those final 8 spots coming up in a couple of weeks. So let's get right into it, folks. Baseball rankings coming out on April 26th. Here for 2023 by the FHSAA. Let's look at Class 7A Region 1. The number 1 team coming in here for Region 1 here in Class 7A, Lake Mary out of District 2. Number 2 team, Creekside out of District 1. Number 3, Winter Park out of District 3. Now, folks, what you're seeing right here, the number behind the team is the district that they represent. If they're highlighted, they are the number 1 seed in the district going into the district tournaments coming up next week. Number 4, Sandalwood. Number 5, Timber Creek. Number 6, Spruce Creek. Number 7, Lake Brantley. They are the number 1 seed in District 4. And number 8, Apopka. The next 4 out are West Orange, Flagler Palm Coast, Mandarin, and DeLand. And folks, I can't tell you how close this race is here in Region 1, but let's look at the final rankings, the ratings as they came out. Apopka sitting right there at number 8. Folks, Apopka was leading the district all the way until Lake Brantley moved up here this final week and took over the number 1 seed. So Apopka dropped back to number 8, but they are followed closely by West Orange. Apopka has a rating of 8.980. West Orange has a rating of 8.622. Flagler Palm Coast has a rating of 8.233. Mandarin at 7.677 and DeLand at 7.259. Folks, that's less than a point difference for that number 8 spot for those final 4 teams that are sitting out looking in coming into the district tournaments next week. Very, very competitive coming in to the districts next week. Let's take a look at the Region 1 districts. This is District 1, how it's going to set up. Creekside, your number 1 team, they will get the bye. As you can see, the other teams, a very competitive district here, right here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams out of District 1 represented already in that top 8 and in the final, in the 4 looking in. So very, very competitive to see who comes out of that District 1 as the champion and who does well enough to possibly make a final 8 spot. District 2, the number 1 team is Lake Mary. Some great teams here as well. You have University hosting Seminole in the first round. Spruce Creek, the number 2 team, gets a bye. DeLand will host Westport in their first round matchup on May 1st. District 3, Winter Park, the overall number 1 all year long. They've been strong. They will take on probably number 2 Timber Creek or probably number 3 Boone. Whoever wins that out. Both Boone and Timber Creek, as you can see, get the first round bye. They don't play each other till the second round on May 2nd in the semifinals. Winter Park plays the winner of Colonial and University. Let's go to District 4. Lake Brantley, again, as we mentioned, took over the number 1 seed here in the final week. Apopka will be at number 2. Both of those teams get the first round bye. East Ridge will host Ocoee and West Orange will host Evans. Should be a great matchup there in Region 1 and all the district tournaments coming up. Let's go to 7A Region 2. Your number 1 team, folks, is Plant. The District 7 number 1 seed there in District 7. Number 2, Windermere, number 1 in District 5. Number 3, Winter Haven, number 1 in District 6. Durant, Lakewood Ranch, number 1 in District 8. Lake Nona, Sarasota, and Alonzo all round out the top 8 here in the final rankings of the regular season. Strawberry Crest, Olympia, Newsom, and Venice are all looking in right now going into the district tournaments coming up next week. District 5 quarterfinal or District 5 district tournament is sets up like this. Windermere, your number 1 team, they get the first round bye. Also, Lake Nona with a first-round bye, as well as the number 2 seed team. District 6, Winter Haven gets your first-round bye. Durant, again, as we saw in that final 8, they're the number 2 seed. They also get a first-round bye. Strawberry Crest sitting down at the bottom along with Newsome, all looking in, trying to do well in the district to try to make that final 8. District 7, number 1 Plant, number 2 Alonzo, both first-round byes. Steinbrenner and Palm Harbor University will be will have to take matters into their own hands in this district tournament if they want to play in the state championship brackets. District 8 here in Region 2, Lakewood Ranch gets your first-round bye. The only team that will. Watch out for Venice, folks. They've had a good they've been down a little bit this year, but they have been hitting a hot streak right now. Craig Faulkner, head coach down there, has really got that team doing well. So we're going to have to see what happens with them. They will take on probably Sarasota in that second round, and whoever comes out of that will give Lakewood Ranch all they can in that district championship. Let's now go to 7A Region 3. Park Vista, your number 1 team. They will be the number 1 seed in District 12. Vero Beach, they will be the number 1 seed in District 10. Jupiter, they will be the number 1 seed in District 11. Number 4, Wellington, an at-large team. Osceola will be the first-round bid in District 9, followed by number 6, Santa Lucius, number 7, Harmony, and number 8, Palm Beach Central. The next 4 looking out, Centennial, Tohopa-Caliga, Central, and Celebration. All 4 of those teams, folks, again, with at least 2 points looking into that final 8 coming up into the district championships coming up next week. Let's look at the District 9 tournament. Osceola and Harmony both with first-round byes, but watch out for Celebration and Toho, folks. Actually, Toho gets a bye as well. So Harmony and Toho will play there in that second round. A very small district here in District 10, but Vero Beach could be, take this one right out because there's only really 2 games that they have to play. So that's going to be very crucial for Vero Beach in the district tournament to possibly come out on top on that one. District 12, District 11, Jupiter, Wellington, and Palm Beach Central, all with the first-round bye. Palm Beach Gardens will host Royal Palm Beach there in the first round. And in District 12, Park Vista, your number 1 team, Santa Lucius and Forest Hill, also with the first-round bye. Lake Worth will host Leonard. Let's now go to Class 7A, Region 4, the number 1 team, folks. Stoneman Douglas, they will be the number 1 seed in District 13. Number 2, Columbus, will be the number 1 seed in District 15. Number 3, West Broward. They will be the number 1 seed in District 14. At number 4, Taravella. Number 5, Western. Number 6, South Dade will be the number 1 seed in District 16. Number 7, Boca Raton. And number 8, Braddock. There has been a jockeying back and forth between Coral Springs, Monarch, Braddock, and Boca Raton, folks, in that 7 and 8 spot. Those 4 teams have shown they have been in that final 8 a couple times during the year, as we saw when the rankings came out earlier. These 4 teams will all jockey in this district tournament to see who makes those final 2 spots, that at-large spots, right there in Region 4. Let's look at the district setup here for District 13. Number 1, Stoneman Douglas, and number 2, Boca Raton will both get the first-round bye. In District 14, West Broward and number 2, Taravella, they will both get the first-round bye. In District 15, number 1, Columbus, number 2, Braddock, and number 3, Goldman, they all get the first-round bye. Braddock and Goldman will play in the second round. Columbus will take on Hialeah Gardens, hosting Miami game in the first round. Let's check out District 16 here in Class 7A, South Dade with the first-round bye. They will take on number 4, Coral Reef, against Coral Gables, the winner of that game there in round 2. Palmetto and Ferguson at 2 and 3, they will get the first round bye there in District 16. Folks, that's a look at Class 7A for the final rankings from the FHSAA as they came out on April 26th. These rankings were the final rankings for the regular season, which seeded everybody for the district tournaments coming up next week. We're going to take a really quick break. When we come back, we've got the rest of the classifications here in baseball here for the state playoffs here in 2023. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back after this. It's time for the 2023 Varsity Sports Network High School Football Media Days. In 2022, VSN broadcasted from 14 Media Day locations around Florida, covering over 600 high school football teams. In 2023, VSN will broadcast from 16 locations, covering 700 plus high school football teams, previewing their 2023 seasons. For more information how your business can be a part of the largest coverage of Florida high school football, call me today. And welcome back, everybody, here to the Sports Zone here on Varsity Sports Network. I'm your host, Bobby Latmore, bringing you all the updated information for baseball here for the FHSAA here in 2023. As the regular season comes to a close, the FHSAA put out the final rankings that set up the seedings for the district championships coming up next week between May 1st through May 5th. This will set up everything for the state brackets coming up the week after. So a lot of important games still to be played here in these district tournaments. Let's quickly now head to Class 6A Region 1. Your number one team coming out of the regular season will be Pace. They will be the number one seed in District 1. At number 2, Buchholz. They will be the number one seed in District 3. Number 3, Mosley. They will be number 1 in District 2. Number 4, Fleming Island. Number 5, Gulf Breeze. Number 6, Tate. 7, Oakleaf. And in the 8th spot, Hagerty. They will be the number 1 seed in District 4. Folks, let's take a quick look over at the next out. We've only got 3 teams that are really close enough to make a difference in that number 8 spot. But let's look at this a little bit. You see the little asterisk by Leon out of District 2. The reason is that Leon is actually ranked higher than Hagerty. But because Hagerty is a district champ, and even though that district is not very competitive this year, the Hagerty with the automatic bid, they will be the number 8 team. So Leon really has to fight to get to that number 7 seed if they want to play in the state championship. So a little bit of, heartbreak right there, even though you're ranked higher than the team that's going to be an automatic bid, you really got to fight to get to that number 7 spot, because I think that's where Hagerty is going to end up here in the final rankings coming up after the district tournaments next week. Let's take a quick look at the district tournaments. District 1, Pace, Gulf Breeze, and Tate will all have the first round bye. Gulf Breeze and Tate will play in the second round. Number 4, Navarre will host Milton, and the winner of that game will take on Pace there in the second round. The District 2 district tournament sets up almost the same way. Mosley has the first round bye. They will take on the winner of Crestview and Niceville in that first round. Leon and Childs, folks, a rivalry and a half in Tallahassee. If you know anything about Tallahassee, Leon County baseball up there in the Big Bend, these two teams do not like each other. And I tell you what, to face off in the semifinals with an opportunity to go to the state championship, that's going to be one heck of a game. Leon does host that game there in the first round, in the second round, I should say. Both teams will, whoever wins that game, will take on a very strong Mosley team that's come on through the second half of the year this year over in the Panhandle near Panama City. So going to be interesting to see how District 2 stacks up. District 3, Buchholz with the first round bye, also with Fleming Island. Fleming Island will take on the winner of Oakleaf and First Coast. Buchholz will take on the winner of Nice and Fletcher. Folks, 2 teams that are really sitting there on the edge is going to be Nice and Oakleaf. That second round game, Buchholz and Fleming Island, even though they get the first round bye, really need to be aware of those 2 teams coming into the second round. Let's look at District 4, Hagerty. As we mentioned, the number 4 district, they are a little bit low this year on the rankings. Hagerty comes in with the first round bye at number 1. Also, Winter Springs, a very interesting team there at Winter Springs. The district tournament will be hosted there at Winter Springs High School, so it'll be interesting to see how these teams come in and fare at that venue coming up here in District 4. Hagerty will take on the winner of the New Smyrna Beach Lake Howell matchup, and Oviedo Lyman will take on the winner of that game will take on Winter Springs there in the second round. Let's head to Class 6A Region 2, the number 1 team at the end of the regular season, folks. George Jenkins, they'll be your number 1 seed there in District 6. Number 2, Wiregrass Ranch, they're number 1 in District 5. Lakeland at number 3. Vieira will be number 1 in District 8. Number 5, Land O'Lakes. Number 6, Lake Minneola, your number 1 team for District 7. Melbourne at 7 and Mitchell at 5. And folks, again, looking at the next 4 out, East River, Bartow, Forest, and Sebastian River, all with a shot to get to those final 2 spots, the 7 and 8 spot there for the at-large bid coming into the state tournament next week, provided they have a very good showing in the district tournament. Let's see where they match up in the district tournaments. District 5, Wiregrass Ranch with the first round bye. There's Land O'Lakes. There's Mitchell. Guess what, folks? They play each other in the second round. Both of those 2 teams will have a bid to go into an at-large bid coming up here, unless they win the district championship, which is very well likely they could. They will be probably one of those teams will be an at-large bid coming out of District 5 here in Class 6A. Class 6A, District 6, George Jenkins, as we mentioned, will be your number 1 team. Lakeland and Bartow also get the bye. They will play each other in the second round. George Jenkins plays the winner of Lake Gibson and Kathleen there in round 2. In District 7, Lake Minneola with the first round bye as the number 1 team. They will take on the winner of South Lake and Wekiva. East River, folks, that's a team that was on the bubble as well. They were sitting in the top 8 most of the season until this final week. I don't know what happened to them. We'll have to go back and check out the record of what they did this final week, but they dropped out of the final 8 into the next 4. They're the next team out there. If you were to pick number 9, they would be number 9 looking to get to number 7 or number 8 there. They will get the first round bye, and they will play the winner of Forest Edgewater coming up in round 2. In District 8, Viera, your number 1 team, they get the first round bye. Also, number 2, Melbourne and Sebastian River will also get the first round bye. And again, folks, Melbourne in, Sebastian River's not. If Sebastian River beats Melbourne, they're in that final 8. Viera will take on the winner of St. Cloud and Heritage in that first round. Let's go to Region 3 here in Class 6A. Your number 1 team at the end of the regular season, Sickles, they are your number 1 team, also set up in District 10 for the district tournament. Number 2, Eastlake. Number 3, Gaither is your number 1 team in District 9. Number 4, Leonard is your number 1 team in District 11. Number 5, Riverdale, number 1 in 12. Bloomingdale at 6, Palmetto Ridge at 7, and Plant City jumps into the final 8 here in the last week of the season, folks. They have been a bubble team most of the year. They come in and to overtake Palmetto there in District 11. Palmetto is the next team out, but folks, less than a point difference between the ratings between Plant City, Palmetto, and we'll even bring in Palmetto Ridge right here, folks. It's very, very close to see which team is going to end up being in that final 8 as an at-large bid. Let's look at District 9 as your district championships start next week. Gaither will be your number 1 team. They will play the winner of Leto and Hillsboro in the second round. Wharton gets up also a first round bye at number 2. They'll take on Armwood. The winner of Armwood and Tampa Bay Tech there also in round 2. In District 10, Sickles get your first round bye as a number 1 team in the region. They will play in the second round the winner of Pinellas Park and Largo, and Eastlake and Countryside both get first round byes, and they will play in the second round. In District 11, Leonard with your first round bye. They'll take on the winner of Palmetto and Manatee. Bloomingdale also at number 2 with a first round bye. They will take on the winner of Plant City and East Bay. In District 12, Riverdale, as we mentioned, will be your number 1 team here in District 12. They'll get the first round bye, but take on the winner of Ida Baker and Immokalee there in the second round. And Palmetto Ridge and Charlotte will be locking up there in the round 2. And again, we mentioned Palmetto Ridge, a very, very tight race with Plant City and Palmetto there for those final 2 spots there in the final 8 here in Region 3. Let's head over now to Region 4. Number 1 team in Region 4 at the end of the regular season, Doral Academy. They will also be the number 1 seed there in District 16. Number 2, Dwyer. They will be the number 1 seed in District 13. Number 3, Varela. Number 4, West Boca Raton. Number 5, St. Thomas Aquinas. They'll be the number 1 seed in District 14. Number 6, Southwest. At number 7, Cooper City. They will be the number 1 team in District 15. And at number 8, Nova. Your next 4 out, Martin County, Deerfield Beach, South Broward, and Miami Beach, all contending there for a spot in that final 8 here in Region 4. Let's check out the district tournament setup. As we mentioned, number 1 team, Dwyer, they get the first round bye. They will play the winner of the Deerfield Beach Seminole Ridge game. But West Boca Raton, one of those teams that's been sitting out in the bubble, they are sitting right there at number 2. They will take on the winner of the Martin County Atlantic game, most likely Martin County. That West Boca Raton and Martin County game's very, very crucial coming into the final 8, because both of those teams are sitting in the bubble teams. So a win there for that team to take on Dwyer and show good against Dwyer, they're in the championship of the district. That could make them vault up into that final 8 spot. In District 14, St. Thomas Aquinas, they get the first round bye. They will take on the winner of the Piper Plantation game. Plantation, again, one of the teams that has been in the number 8 spot there for a while there in Region 4. They jumped out this week because Plant City did a better job this week playing. They knocked out Plantation to a bubble team, but they're the first team out. So a big showing right here by Plantation, beating Piper, possibly beating St. Thomas Aquinas. We'll see. Have to be a good game for them to do that. But if they get by the first round, that may vault them enough into that final 8 spot. We'll have to check it out. In district, I should say, number 2, Fort Lauderdale also gets the first round bye. They will take on the winner of the South Plantation and Dillard game there in the second round. In District 15, number 1, Cooper City, they are in right now as a district leader. They are in the top 8. MacArthur, they will take on the winner of MacArthur and Dr. Crop there in the second round. Nova, also one of those bubble teams, will take on the winner of South Broward and Everglades. All of these teams looking for a bid in that final 8. In District 16, a great matchup here. Number 1, Doral Academy, they will take on the winner of Miami Beach in Southridge. Southridge looking to come back a little bit. They have been in the finals for a while. It's just going to see how well they do coming in. They were actually in the final 8 for several weeks here, but then all of a sudden they just kind of fallen out of the whole race. So we'll see how well they can bounce back here in the district tournament. Number 2, Varela, we talked about them. They are in the final 8. Going to have to play hard because they have number 3, Southwest and Coral Park. The winner of that game, most likely Southwest, in the second round. And that's really going to be a crucial game for Southwest to stay in that final 8 against Varela there in District 16. So we'll see how well that fares out. Folks, that's a look at classification 6A. Let's quickly jump right now into Class 5A Region 1. Your number 1 team, Columbia, they are the number 1 seed in District 2. Number 2, Clay, they are number 1 in District 3. Lincoln out of Tallahassee at number 3. Ridgeview at number 4. Ponte Vedra, the number 1 team in District 4. At number 5. At number 6, Pine Forest. They are your number 1 seed in District 1. At number 7, Escambia. And at number 8, rounding out the top 8 here in Region 1, Class 5A, Gainesville out of District 2. Your next 4 out, Fort Walton Beach, St. Augustine, Choctawhatchee, and Inglewood, all looking for a place to get in. Let's check out the district setups for each one of these districts here in Class 5A Region 1. And there's District 1, Pine Forest with the first round bye. They will take on the winner of Choctaw and Booker T. Washington there in the second round. And again, Choctaw looking for a place to come in. They're a bubble team looking out, so they got to fare well here in the district tournament. Escambia in low level there at the number 8 spot, but they will have to take on Fort Walton Beach there in the second round and see how well they fare out there. I'm sorry, Escambia is number 7. So at Fort Walton Beach and Escambia there in that second round, that's going to be a great matchup because both of those teams have to win for Escambia to stay in the 8 and for a chance for Fort Walton to jump up and move into that final 8 as an at-large bid. So we'll see how well they fare out on that. District 2, folks, very simple setup. Columbia will host Rickards in the first round. Lincoln will host Gainesville. No buys for the number 1 team in the round because it's only 4-team district. So each team playing in the first round, and then they go straight to the district championships. So just 2 games to win the district championship there in District 2. In District 3, same setup. Clay will host Middleburg there in the first round. Ridgeview will host Orange Park also in the first round, and they'll play the championships there at Orange Park High School over there. So Orange Park, even though they're number 3, gets a little bit of advantage being on the home field. And at District 4, they will play at Ponte Vedra. Ponte Vedra, your number 1 team, they will host the tournament as well. They also get the first round bye. They will play the winner of Riverside and Parker there in the second round. St. Augustine and Inglewood also get a first round bye. They will play in the second round against each other there at Ponte Vedra High School, the district host for that tournament coming up for District 4. Let's check out Class 5A Region 2. Number 1, Lake Wales. Congratulations to them. They are also your number 1 seed for District 7. Number 2, Sebring. Number 3, Auburndale. Number 4, Pine Ridge out of Deltona, folks. They are your number 1 seed for District 5. Congratulations to them. Number 5, Wesley Chapel. They are your number 1 seed in District 8. Congratulations also to them. Number 6, Zephyr Hills. Number 7, Vanguard out of Gainesville. They will be, I should say out of Ocala. They are your number 1 seed out of District 6. And at number 8, Cypress Creek out of District 8. There's your top 8 there in Region 2 for Class 5A. Seabreeze sitting right there on the edge, folks. They've jockeyed back and forth in that top 8 most of the season, but fell out here in the final week. Less than a point difference between Cypress Creek and Seabreeze. So both of those teams have to have a good showing coming up here in the final season here in the district tournament to stay in that to Cypress Creek to stay in number 8 and for possibly Seabreeze to move into it. Let's quickly look at District 5 setup right now. As we mentioned, congratulations to Pine Ridge. They will get your number 1 seed plus the first round bye. They will take on the winner of Matanzas and Mainland there in the second round. As we mentioned, Seabreeze has to have a good showing. They're taking on a very strong Deltona team there in the second round as both of those teams get the first round bye. So we'll keep an eye on that to see who fares well in District 5 here in Class 5A. Number 1, Vanguard, as we mentioned, to get to number 1 seed. They will play in the second round the winner of Leesburg and Lake Buena Vista. Also at number 2 with the first round bye, they will take on Bellevue. They will take on the winner of Horizon and Jones there in the second round. Moving along to District 7, Lake Wales, your number 1 seed. They will get the first round bye. They will host Liberty, the winner of Liberty and Gateway there in the second round. And number 2, Sebring, number 3, Auburndale will both get first round byes. They will play each other in the second round. District 8 here in Class 5A, number 1, Wesley Chapel. They get the first round bye. They will play the winner of River Ridge and 5A. River Ridge, again, one of those teams that we talked about on the bubble, looking for a way in here coming into the final week here in the district championships. Number 2, Zephyr Hills, no first round bye with 7 teams in the district. They play in the first round. They play Lecanto. If they get by Lecanto, they will play the winner of Cypress Creek and Pasco. And again, there's Cypress Creek sitting right there, folks. 3 games they have to get to the championship in this district. So very tough matchup there for Cypress Creek there in that final 8 spot to hold that spot here in the districts. Now let's quickly head over to Region 3 here for Class 5A. Number 1, Jesuit. They will be your number 1 team here in District 9. Number 2, Island Coast. They will be your number 1 team in District 11. Number 3, Naples. They will be your number 1 team in District 12. Number 4, Parish Community. Number 5, Seminole, your number 1 team in District 10. At number 6, Osceola. Hollins coming in at number 7. And Braden River coming in at number 8 to round out the final 8 here in the regular season here in the rankings. Next 4 teams out, Bonita Springs, Northeast, Barron Collier, South Fort Myers, all with an opportunity within striking distance right here to get to that 7 or 8 spot, because between those spots, it's a 3-point difference between those 6 teams and those final 2 spots there at large bids here in Region 3. Let's take a quick look at the district setups here as each team gets seated here for the 2023 district tournaments here for baseball here by the FHSA. Number 1 team, Jesuit. They will get the first round bye. They will take on the winner of Spoto and Freedom there in round 2. Parish Community, again, with a 7-team district, they will play in the first round. They'll host Southeast. They will take on the winner of Braden River or Brandon, provided they get by their first round there in the second. Let's head over to District 10. Seminole with the first round bye. Northeast will host St. Petersburg. They'll play the winner of that. Will play Seminole in the second round. And Osceola with a first round bye. They will take on the winner of Hollins and Clearwater there in District 10. In District 11, Island Coast, the first round bye is your number 1 team. They will take on the winner of Mariner and Cape Coral in round 2. Port Charlotte, with also a first round bye, they will take on the winner of North Fort Myers and Dunbar there in the second round. And in District 12, Naples, your number 1 team, they will get a first round bye. They take on the winner of South Fort Myers and Golden Gate there in the second round. Bonita Springs gets the first round bye at number 2, also in District 12. They will take on the winner of Barron Collier and East Lee County there for Region 3 here, District 12 and Class 5A. Let's now head over to Region 4. Very simple setup right here, folks. The first 4 teams are your top-seeded district leaders at the end of the regular season. At number 1, Archbishop McCarthy, number 1 at 15. Number 2, American Heritage Plantation, number 1 at 14. Number 3, Belen Jesuit, and number 1 team for 16. And number 4, Ugali, the number 1 team for 13. The next 4 at large: number 5, Pembroke Pines Charter, number 6, Suncoast, Rockledge at 7, and at number 8, Okeechobee. Your first 4 out, folks: South Fork, Mater Academy, Terra Environmental School, and Bayside. Folks, South Fork and Okeechobee have jockeyed back and forth between that number 8 spot all year long. And in the final regular season matchups in the rankings right here, Okeechobee beats out South Fork by less than a point ranking coming into the final season. So very close matchup between these 2 teams. They're both in District 14. We'll get to that tournament here in a second, but let's first look at District 13 and how that sets up here for 2023. Ugali with the first round bye. They will take on the winner of Port St. Lucie and number 5, Westwood. Number 2, Rockledge, and number 3, Bayside. They will both get the first round bye. Let's take a look at that District 14. Number 1, American Heritage, set up right there. They will get the first round bye. They will take on the winner of South Fork and Coconut Creek there in District 14. They're in round 2. So South Fork has to win over Coconut Creek to face American Heritage and have a good showing against them to see if they can get past Okeechobee, because if Suncoast beats Okeechobee in the first round, South Fork wins, I believe South Fork will overtake that number 8 spot there for the final spot coming up for the state tournament next week. So big time baseball coming up here for these 3 teams happening here in District 14. As I mentioned, Suncoast and Okeechobee, both with a first round bye. They play in the second round, so it'll be interesting to see how well they fare out. In District 15, number 1, Archbishop McCarthy, they get the first round bye. They will host the winner of Hollywood Hills and number 5, American, there in the second round. And Pembroke Pines Charter and Hialeah, also with the first round bye, they will take on each other there in the second round. And for District 16, no byes, folks. Belen Jesuit with a 4-team district will host Homestead in the first round. Mater Academy, they will host Terra Environmental as well. Both of those teams on the bubble have to make a good showing there in the first round to have an opportunity to be in that final 8. Folks, a lot of baseball, man. I love it. This is my game, and I'm so happy to take it to you today. And I'm so happy to bring it to you today. So we're going to take a quick break. A lot of information out there right now for these final rankings. So we're going to take another break, take a quick breath, take a water break, and be back right after this. You're watching the Sports Zone here on Varsity Sports Network. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot more coming up next. And welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Zone here on the Varsity Sports Network. I'm your host, Bobby Latmore, bringing you all the final rankings for the regular season here for baseball from the FHSAA here in 2023. And let's get right back into it, folks. Let's go right into Class 4A Region 1. The number one team in Region 1 Class 4A, South Walton. They will be your number one seed in District 1. Number 2, Arnold. Number 3, Baker County will be your number one seed in District 2. Santa Fe at number 4, number 1 in District 4. Bishop Kenny at 5, number 1 in District 3. West Florida at 6, Wakulla at 7, and coming in at number 8, Yulee. Your next 4 out, Tocoi Creek, Stanton, Suwannee, and Taylor County, all with a shot to get into that final 8 after the district tournaments, provided they do well in those district championships. Let's quickly now head to the district championship setup, seeded by the final rankings by the FHSAA here on April 26th, 2023. The number one team here in District 1, South Walton, with a first-round bye. They'll take on the winner of Bay and Pensacola. They're in the second round. Arnold and West Florida will play in round 2 as they both get a first-round bye. In District 2, Baker County with a first-round bye. They'll take on the winner of Taylor County and Godby. They're in the second round. Number 2, Wakulla. They get a first-round bye also and take on the winner of Suwannee and Gadsden County. In District 3 here in 4A, no byes at all with an 18 district coming out of the Jacksonville area. Number 1, Bishop Kenny. They will host Ed White there in the first round. West Side, they will host Paxson School for Advanced Studies there in round 1. At number 2, Yulee, they will host number 7, Rains. And at number 3, Stanton, they will host number 6, Ribault. Folks, that looks like an actual state region bracket there in the finals. So all 8 teams bidding well there in District 3 for 4A, trying to make that final 8 spots coming up next week. Number 1, Santa Fe here in District 4 will get a first-round bye. They will take on the winner of Eastside and Palatka there in the second round. Tocoi Creek, they're number 2. They also get a first-round bye. They will host the winner of Menendez and Beachside there in round 1. For Class 4A Region 2, number 1 team, North Marion. They're your number 1 seed in District 5. Number 2, Merritt Island. They're number 1 in District 8. Number 3, Bishop Moore, number 1 in District 7. And at number 4, Hernando, they're number 1 in District 6. Number 5, Dunellen. Number 6, Satellite. Number 7, The Villages. And rounding out the top 8, Nature Coast. They're at number 8. Next 4 out, Houston, Citrus, and Lake Weir, the closest teams with any kind of advantage to get into those final 8 coming up next week. Let's take a look at the district. North Marion, your first-round bye here in District 5. They'll take on the winner of Citrus and Lake Weir there in round 2. Dunellen also with a first-round bye. They'll take on the winner of the Villages and Crystal River in round 2 coming up here for District 5. In District 6, Hernando, your first team in, as a first-round bye as well. They'll take on the winner of Weeki Wachee and Hudson. Nature Coast Tech, also with a first-round bye at number 2. They'll take on the winner of Central and Gulf there in the second round. District 7 sets up like this here for 2023. Number 1, Bishop Moore with the first-round bye. They'll take on the winner of Tavares and Atlantic there in the second round. And number 2, Eustis, and number 3, Mount Dora, both with a first-round bye. They'll match up with each other there in the second round. In District 8, number 1, Merritt Island with a first-round bye. They'll take on the winner of Palm Bay and Titusville. They're in round 2. Satellite at number 2, Astronaut at number 3. They both get a first-round bye. They will match up in the second round there in District 8. Let's now go to Class 4A Region 3. Number 1 team, Dunedin. They're also number 1 seed in District 11. Number 2, McKeel Academy. They're number 1 in District 9. Number 3, Jefferson. They're your number 1 team in District 10. Number 4, Hardy. Number 5, Lemon Bay. Your number 1 team in District 12. Number 6, Estero. Robinson at number 7. And rounding out the top 8 here for the final rankings is number 8, LaBelle. Lake Region, Chamberlain, Cypress Lake, and DeSoto County, all within at least 4 points of those final 2 seedings there for number 7 and 8 here for at-large bids coming into Region 3 here in Class 4A. Let's look at the district tournament setup seeded by the FHSAA with the final rankings. Number 1, McKeel Academy will get the first round bye. They will take on Mulberry and Davenport winner there in round 2. Number 2 Hardy and number 3 Lake Region, both of the first round bye, will match up there in the second round. District 10, number 1 Jefferson, they get the first round bye. They will take on the winner of King and Middleton there in the second round. Number 2 Robinson, number 3 Chamberlain, also with first round byes, and will match up there in round 2. Number 1 Dunedin, they get the first round bye. They will take on number 4 and number 5 winner out of Bayshore and Anclote there in round 2. Tarpon Springs also with a first round bye. They will take on the winner of Boca Ciega and Booker there at 3 and 6 in that first round there in round 2. In District 12, number 1 Lemon Bay, first round bye. They will play the winner of Cypress Lake and DeSoto County in round 2. Estero at number 2, they will also get a first round bye. They will take on the winner of number 3 LaBelle and number 6 Leli coming in there at round 2. Class 4A Region 4, your number 1 team and the furthest team south here in the state of Florida, Key West, folks. They are also your number 1 team in District 16. Number 2, American Heritage Delray, they're your number 1 team in District 13. Jensen Beach coming in at number 3 at an at-large bid. Miami Springs at number 4, they're your number 1 team in District 15. At large, St. Brendan at number 5, Pompano Beach at number 6, Cardinal Gibbons at number 7, and at number 8, Somerset Academy, your number 1 team in District 14. And folks, look over by the next 4, Mater Lakes. They are ranked higher than Somerset Academy, but because of the automatic bid for the district leaders and district championships for every district, they jump over Mater Lakes. So Mater Lakes has to do a good showing in the districts to get to that number 7 spot instead of trying to make that number 8 spot, because it looks like whoever wins out of District 14 will probably be in that number 8 spot coming to the end here in the final rankings next week. Let's quickly look now at District 13 and see how that sets up coming up next week for the district championship. Number 1 American Heritage, they get the first round bye. They will take on the winner of Cardinal Gibbons and Somerset Academy Canyons there in round 2. Number 2 Jensen Beach, they will play in the first round. They will host number 7 Boynton Beach. Number 3 Pompano Beach, they will host number 6 Northeast. Both of those winners will play each other in round 2. Let's quickly go to District 14 and an interesting setup here. These 3-team district, so very simple. Somerset Academy wins the number 1 seed. They will get the first round bye. They will take on the winner of North Miami Beach and Hallandale for the district championship on the next game. So easy setup there for that district. District 15, number 1 seed Miami Springs, they get the first round bye. Number 2 Mater Lakes Academy, they get the first round bye. Number 3 Northwestern, they get the first round bye. Number 4 Hialeah Miami Lakes, they get the first round bye, which is basically everybody plays in the second round, so it should have been just the first round playoffs, but they went ahead and did it this way just to show them that they made the quarterfinals. So in the second round, Miami Springs will take on Hialeah Miami Lakes, and number 2 Mater Lakes Academy will take on Northwestern, and we'll get a district championship out of the winners out of that. District 16, almost the same setup, but number 1 Key West, they will get the first round bye. They will play the winner of Killian and South Miami in the second round. Number 2 St. Brendan and number 3 Sunset, they will both have the first round byes and play in the second round as well. Let's now go to Class 3A Region 1. Your number 1 team coming out of Jacksonville, Providence, they are your number 1 seed for District 3. Number 2, Trinity Christian, they're number 1 for District 2. Number 3, Pensacola Catholic, they are number 1 for District 1. Number 4, Fernandina Beach. Number 5, Wolfson. Number 6, Bowles. Number 7, Trinity Catholic, they're your number 1 seed in District 4. And at number 8, Mariana coming in an at-large bid out of District 1. Keystone Heights, PK Young, North Bay Haven, and Florida State High School, FSUS, they're out of Tallahassee, both all on the bubble over there. Now, Keystone Heights, folks, was actually sitting at number 7 the week prior to this. Trinity Catholic was at number 8, and Trinity Catholic had a great week, obviously, this week because they moved up to number 7, knocking Keystone Heights back to a bubble team. So interesting to see how Keystone Heights responds after a tough week of baseball there for them this last week. So we'll see how they fare coming up here in the districts. So let's see District 1 here for Class 3A. Pensacola Catholic, your number one team, first round bye. They'll take on the winner of Florida State University High School as they take on Maclay there in Pensacola. Number 2, Mariana, no first round bye with 7 teams in the district. They'll take on Rutherford there in the first round. North Bay Haven will take on Walton. See who plays the winners out of that there to round 2. District 2, Trinity Christian Academy gets the first round bye. They'll take on the winner of Bishop Snyder and Bradford there in round 2. Number 2, Baldwin. Number 3, West Nassau, both with a first round bye, will match up there in round 2. In District 3, the Providence School, the number 1 team in the region, they will get a first round bye. They'll take on the winner of Bowles and Episcopal School out of Jacksonville. A great first round matchup right there. And whoever gets to Providence, we'll see how that game fares well. But Providence will take on the winner of that game there in round 2. Number 2, Fernandina Beach, another tough team here in District 3. They'll take on the winner of Wolfson and Andrew Jackson there in the second round. In District 4, Trinity Catholic gets the first round bye. They will take on the winner of Father Lopez and Taylor there in the first round. Number 2, Keystone Heights. We mentioned them being in the top 8, falling out this week into a bubble team. The first team out has to have a good showing, so they're going to have to play in the first round against number 7, Crescent City, to see how well they do that one. Then they take on number 3, the winner of number 3, PK Young, and number 6, Interlochen in the second round. So big-time district here for Keystone Heights. No rest for the weary as you get into the next week for this tournament championship. Let's head now to Class 3A Region 2, the number 1 team in the region in the final rankings, Calvary Christian. They're also your number 1 seed in District 6. Number 2, Tampa Catholic. They're your number 1 team in District 5. Number 3, Bishop Verot. They're your number 1 team in District 8. Number 4, Berkeley Prep. Number 5, Clearwater Central Catholic. Number 6, Fort Meade, your number 1 team out of District 7. Number 7, Avon Park. And rounding out the top 8, Oasis. Bell Creek, Lake Placid, Cardinal Mooney, and Discovery, all with a shot to be in that final 8 coming up into the final week next week for the district championships. Let's look at the district tournaments right here. District 5, Tampa Catholic with a first round bye. They will take on the winner of Tampa Prep and Brooks DeBartolo there in the second round. Number 2, Berkeley Prep. Number 3, Bell Creek Academy will play in the second round matchup as both of those teams have a first round bye. In District 6, Calvary Christian with a first round bye. They'll take on the winner of St. Petersburg Catholic and Lakewood there in the second round. Number 2, Clearwater Central Catholic, and number 3, Cardinal Mooney will play each other there. They both get a first round bye, will play each other in the second round. Number 1, Fort Meade here in District 7 for the first round bye. They'll take on the winner of Discovery and Frostproof. Number 2, Avon Park. Number 3, Lake Placid will take on each other there in round 2 as both of those teams also have a first round bye. In District 8, only a 4-team district, so everybody plays in the first round, basically. Bishop Verot will take on Glade Central. Number 2, Oasis will take on Clewiston, and we'll find out who the district championship out of the winners out of that coming up on May 4th for the district championship. Let's go to now Class 3A Region 3. North Broward Prep, your number 1 team in the region when the final rankings have completed. They are also your number 1 team here in District 12. Number 2, Montverde Academy, your number 1 team for District 9. Number 3, Benjamin, your number 1 team for District 11. At number 4, Coral Springs Charter. At number 5, St. John Paul II. At number 6, Cardinal Newman. At number 7, Melbourne Central Catholic. And rounding out the top 8, Kings Academy. Your bubble teams, Trinity Prep, Umatilla, St. Andrews, Holy Trinity. Trinity Prep, Umatilla been flirting with that top 8 week in and week out here for 2023. So we'll see how they fare coming up here in the districts. Both of those teams in District 9. Let's take a look at this very stacked up District 9 here for Region 3 in Class 3A. Montverde Academy, no rest for the weary. They're your number 1 team, but they will play in the first round against Crooms Academy. Lake Highland Prep will host also Windermere Prep there in the first round. Trinity Prep will host Cornerstone and Charter there also in the first round. And Umatilla will host South Sumter in the first round as well. All 8 teams on the bracket there for District 9 here in Region 3. In District 10, Melbourne Central Catholic with the first round bye. They will take on the winner of Space Coast and Cocoa there in the second round. Number 2, Holy Trinity, and number 3, Cocoa Beach will play each other in the second round, as both of those teams have a first round bye. Number 1, Benjamin has a first round bye. They will take on the winner of Lincoln Park and Oxbridge in the second round. Number 2, Cardinal Mooney, and number 3, Kings Academy, first round bye, will match up there in round 2. In District 12, number 1, North Broward Prep with the first round bye, also your number 1 team in the region, will host either St. Andrews or Katz Yeshiva there as they play in the first round. North Broward will take on the winner of that game there in the second round. Number 2, Coral Springs Charter, and number 3, St. John Paul Academy, the second academy, both have a first round bye and will match up against each other in the second round. Moving on to Class 3A Region 4, your number 1 team, Westminster Christian, also your number 1 team in District 15. Number 2, Calvary Christian, they're your number 1 seed in District 13. Gulliver Prep coming in at number 3. At number 4, Monsignor Pace, your number 1 for District 14. Number 5, NSU University. Number 6, Florida Christian. Number 7, Pinecrest. And at number 8, Keys Gate, your number 1 seed for District 16. Folks, let's take a quick look over at the next 4 out here in Region 4. Chaminade Madonna, LaSalle, and Palmer Trinity all are ranked higher than Keys Gate. Those 3 teams, if they do not fare well, they're looking for that number 5, 6, and 7 spot right now, set up as the final rankings came out to try to move in there. Number 8's probably going to be the winner of whoever wins District 16 because of the automatic bid. They will be the number 8 seed. So Chaminade, LaSalle, and Palmer Trinity are fighting against Pinecrest and Florida Christian there for that 6 and 7 spot in reality to try to get in. Hialeah Educational is still in the mix, even though they're ranked lower than Keys Gate. Maybe have to win the district to try to get in there at District 14. That'll be a tough task for them to do. So let's take a quick at the district setups as the final rankings came out and see where everybody was seated. Number 1, Calvary Christian will host Chaminade Madonna in the first round in a 4-team district, so no buys for anybody. And at number 2, NSU University will host number 3, Pinecrest. In District 14, as we mentioned before, Monsignor Pace, they do get the bye in the first round. They will host the winner of Downtown Doral and iMater Academy or Charter there in the first round. Number 2, Hialeah Educational Academy. Number 3, Sports Leadership and Management, both with a first round bye, will match up against each other there in round 2. Number 1, Westminster Christian will get the first round bye. They will play the winner of LaSalle and Palmer Trinity there in the second round. Number 2, Gulliver Prep, also with a first round bye. They will take on the winner of Florida Christian and Ransom Everglades there in round 2. 3A District 16, number 1, Keys Gate. They get the first round bye. They will host the winner of Somerset Academy Silver Palms and number 5, Somerset Academy South Homestead. Whoever wins that game will take on Keys Gate there in the second round. Number 2, Marathon, and number 3, Coral Shores, both with a first round bye, will play each other there in round 2. Folks, that's a quick look at Class 3A and 4A here for baseball as the final rankings came out for the FHSAA here on April 26th. So a lot's been covered. We've got 2 more classifications coming up next. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're far from being done here on the Sports Zone. So we'll be back right after this here on the Varsity Sports Network. And welcome back, everybody, here to the Sports Zone here on Varsity Sports Network. I'm your host, Bobby Latmore, bringing you all the final rankings. It's time for the 2023 Varsity Sports Network High School Football Media Days. In 2022, VSN broadcasted from 14 Media Day locations around Florida, covering over 600 high school football teams. In 2023, VSN will broadcast from 16 locations, covering 700-plus high school football teams, previewing their 2023 seasons. For more information how your business can be a part of the largest coverage of Florida high school football, call me today. Of the baseball standings as they came out by the FHSAA on the final regular season rankings that set up the district tournament seedings coming up next week. And very, very important seedings they are, as we found out there in our 3A through 7A classifications earlier that we just went through. Just a quick recap on how everything sets up. If you're looking at the regional baseball rankings, the teams that are highlighted are your districts or your number one seeds in the district after the final rankings. That doesn't mean they're automatically in or anything. They're just your number one seeds coming out of the district. If the playoffs were to start today, they would be your district championships. They would have the automatic bid to get in, but still a lot more baseball that still has to be played. So that's what's so fun about the game. And we're just trying to set you up for what's going to happen here in the next 2 weeks for the state championships coming up. So let's quickly now head to Class 2A Region 1. The number one team coming out of Region 1 after the regular season rankings by the FHSAA, St. John's Country Day. They will be your number one seed for District 2. Number 2, Oak Hall. They will be your number one seed in District 4. Number 3, North Florida Christian. They will be your number one seed in District 1. Number 4, St. Joseph's Academy. They're coming out of District 2 as an at-large bid. Number 5, University Christian. They will be your number one seed for District 3. At-large teams, number 6, Eagles View. 7, Parsons Christian. And at 8, St. John Paul II out of Tallahassee. Your 4 teams that are on the bubble right now, Christ Church, St. Francis, Rocky Bayou, and Countryside, all looking for a way to get in, but they have to do well in the district tournaments. Now, again, as we mentioned, these seeds that you see right here are seeded. The final rankings came out. They seed the district tournament. So let's take a look at each district tournament and see where we are. 2A District 1, your number one team, North Florida Christian. They get the first round bye. They will play Florida A&M, and the winner of Florida A&M and Monroe there in the second round. St. John Paul II and number 3 Rocky Bayou Christian both get first round byes. They will play each other in the second round. In a 4-team district here in District 2, St. John's Country Day will play First Coast Christian in the first round. St. Joseph's Academy will play Christ Church. So no rest for the number one team here in District 2. They get right into it once this district tournament starts. Very easily, just 2 games to win the district championship. So fairly simple for one of those teams. In District 3, number 1 University, they do get the first round bye. They will take on the winner of Seacoast Christian Academy and Impact Christian Academy there in the first round. Number 2 Eagles View and number 3 Parsons Christian will get a first round bye and match up against each other there in round 2. In District 4, number 1 Oak Hall will take on number 4 Perennial Baptist Academy there in the first round. St. Francis Catholic at number 2 and number 3 Countryside Christian will all play in a 4-team district. So Oak Hall with no rest, they get right into it there in round 1. Let's quickly now head to Class 2A Region 2. The number 1 team, the First Academy, they will also be the number 1 seeded team in District 7. Number 2 Lakeland Christian, they will be number 1 in District 8. Number 3 Orangewood Christian. Number 4 Foundation Academy. Number 5, Mount Dora Christian Academy will be your number 1 seed in District 6. Number 6, Bishop McLaughlin will be your number 1 team in District 5. Number 7, Santa Fe Catholic. And number 8, Masters Academy round out the top 8 here in the final rankings of the FHSAA baseball championships here for the final regular season. Next 4 out, All Saints, Victory Christian, Trinity Christian, and First Academy. All with a shot, folks. All Saints has been flirting back and forth in that number 8 spot all year long between Masters Academy. So both of those teams have to have a very good showing here in the district tournament to see who finds out and becomes that at-large bid at number 8. Let's look at District 5 set up right now based on the seedings. Bishop McLaughlin will be your first round bye. They will take on the winner of Seven Rivers Christian and Redeemer Christian there in the second round. First Academy and Hernando Christian Academy, both with first round byes, will face off against each other in round 2. District 6, Mount Dora Christian Academy with a first round bye. They will take on the winner of Geneva and Lake Mary Prep. Masters Academy and Trinity Christian Academy will also have first round byes and take on each other there in round 2. In District 7, the First Academy with a first round bye. They will take on the winner of Legacy Charter and Orlando Christian Prep. Orangewood Christian, also at number 2, also with a first round bye. They will take on the winner of Foundation Academy and Central Florida Christian Academy there in round 2. And in District 8, Lakeland Christian with a first round bye. They will take on the winner of Victory Christian Academy in Moorhaven. Santa Fe Catholic and All Saints Academy, as we mentioned before, have a first round bye, and they will play each other there in the second round. In Class 2A Region 3, your number 1 team, Canterbury. They'll also be your number 1 seed in District 12. Number 2, Northside Christian. They will be your number 1 seed in District 9. At number 3, Newman. Number 4, Out of Door Academy. They will be your number 1 team in District 11. Number 5, Seffner Christian. They will be your number 1 team in District 10. Number 6, Southwest Florida Christian. Number 7, Community of Naples. Number 8, Carrollwood Day. That rounds out your top 8 here in Region 3. Your next 4 out, Evangelic Christian, Imagine School, Sports Leadership and Management, and Keswick Christian, all looking for a way in here coming out of the district tournaments next week. Your District 9 seating setup goes as this. Number 1, Northside Christian. They're number 1. They will have the first round bye. They will take on the winner of number 4, Indian Rocks Christian, and number 5, Canterbury. Number 2, Keswick Christian will play in the first round. They will host number 7, Lakeside Christian. Number 3, Shorecrest Prep will take on number 6, Admiral Farragut, also in the first round. In District 10, Seffner Christian with a first round bye. They will take on the winner of Cambridge Christian and number 5, Academy at the Lakes there in the second round. Number 2, Carrollwood Day, also with a first round bye. They will take on the winner of number 3, Sports Leadership and Management, and number 6, Foundation Christian Academy there also in the second round. In District 11, Out of Door Academy, again with the first round bye. They will take on the winner of number 4, Sarasota Christian, and number 5, Gulf Coast Heat there in the second round. And number 2, Imagine School at North Point will get the first round bye. They will take on the winner of number 3, Braden Christian, and number 6, St. Stephen's Episcopal there in the second round. And in District 12, number 1, Canterbury. No rest for the weary, folks. Again, in an 8-team district, they will play in the first round and host Marco Island Academy there in the first round. Number 4, Community School of Naples. They will host number 5, Evangelical Christian. Number 2, Newman. They will host number 7, First Baptist Academy. Number 3, Southwest Florida Christian. They will host number 6, Seacrest Country Day, all in the first round here in District 12. Let's now go to Region 4 here in Class 2A, and your number 1 team at the end of the regular season, folks, Miami Christian. They will also be seated number 1 in District 13. Number 2, John Carroll Catholic. They will be your number 1 seed in District 13. Number 3, Westminster Academy will be your number 1 seed in District 15. At number 4, True North Classical. Number 5, Sagemont. Number 6, Trinity Christian, who will be your number 1 seed in District 14. At number 7, Jupiter Christian. And rounding out the top 8, Brito. Your next 4 out, Riviera Prep, Boca Raton Christian, Highlands Christian, and Masters Academy in South Florida. Riviera Prep, folks, and that top bubble team right there, and Brito flopped here in the final week. Riviera Prep, I thought for a while, would hold that number 8 spot, but Riviera Prep, not with a very good final week of baseball this last week, losing a couple games. Brito winning what they needed to win, jumps Riviera Prep. So Riviera Prep looking to get back into that number 8 spot coming up here in the district tournaments. Let's quickly look at how everybody got seated, especially here in District 13. John Carroll Catholic will get the first round bye. They'll play the winner of number 4, Brevard Heat, and number 5, St. Edwards there in round 2. The Masters Academy at number 2 and Merritt Island Christian, both with a first round bye, will face off against each other there in round 2. In District 14, Trinity Christian Academy gets a first round bye. They will take on number 4 Atlantic Christian and number 5 Lake Worth Christian there, the winner of that game in round 2. Number 2, Jupiter Christian, also with a first round bye. They will take on the winner of number 3 Boca Raton Christian and number 6 Berry Christian there in the second round. In District 15, number 1, Westminster Academy with the first round bye. They will take on the winner of Dade Christian at number 4 and number 5, David Posnack Jewish Day there in the first round. Number 2, Sagemont. They also get a first round bye. They will take on number 3, Highlands Christian as they take on number 6, Sheridan Hills Christian. The winner of that game plays Sagemont in the second round here in District 15. And in District 16, number 1, Miami Christian, the number 1 team in the region, gets a first round bye, well deserved. They will take on the winner of number 4, Riviera Prep, as they take on number 5, Archbishop Carroll. That Riviera Prep game has very, very important. They win that game, that's going to be very big for them to get in that final 8 spot again. True North Classical Academy at number 2, they get the first round bye. And there's number 3, Brito, folks. Because of the way Brito moved into that top 8 spot, they're number 3 seed. Riviera moved back to number 4. How important was that 3 and 4 spot right there in that final week? So we'll see how it fares out. But Brito will host number 6, Westwood Christian, there in the first round and play True North Classical there. The winner of that game will play True North Classical in the second round. So big moves. You can call them little moves, however you want to, for that final 8 spot over the past week. And several of these regions, it all showed here coming into the final rankings where each team is set up in a district. Some of them got set up well, but as moving down into the rankings as well, you have to play the bigger teams now coming into your district tournament. So that's a very tough task for some of these teams to face off coming into the final week here in the district championship. So we'll see how everything fares out. We'll keep you up to date here on Varsity Sports Network. Let's now go to Class 1A and the regions, and a little bit different showing right here, what you're about to see. In Class 1A in the regions, they're only taking the top 4 teams in the region. It's a little bit more, it's the smaller school, rural school division, and they're only doing 4 teams for each region for the championships. So a little abbreviated state championship bracket you'll see coming up here soon. So let's look at Class 1A, Region 1. The number 1 team after the final rankings, folks, Northview, way up there in Pensacola. I think that's one of the top, that's the furthest west school in the state of Florida, northwest school. They're right up in the northwest corner of the Panhandle up there. They are your number 1 seeded team in District 1, so congratulations to them. Number 2, Jay, not too far from Northview. They're also at number 2. Number 3, Paxton will be your number 1 seed team in District 2, and rounding out your top 4 here for the region here in Class 1A will be number 4, Holmes County. The next 2 out, Freeport and Baker, they also have a very good shot of getting into this, as you'll see here as we set up the district seedings right now for Region 1 and Region 2. Let's talk about Region 2 as well, because we're going to go right into the district tournaments here for District 3 and 4 as well. So for Class 1A Region 2, your number 1 team is number 1 Bozeman. They're also your number 1 seed for District 4. Number 2, Port St. Joe. Number 3, Chipley, your number 1 seed for District 3. And coming in at number 4, rounding out the top 4, Franklin County, there for District 4. Cottondale and Sneads both looking in, trying to win that district championship to get into that one of those final 4 spots. So let's quickly now take a look at the 4 district tournaments set up here for Class 1A. Northview gets a first round bye. They will play the winner of Central and Laurel Hill there in the second round. Jay and Baker also with first round byes. They'll match up together in the second round. Paxton with your first round bye. They'll take on the winner of Bethlehem and Ponce de Leon in the second round. Holmes County and Freeport, they're in District 2, also have a first round bye and match up against each other in round 2. In District 3, Chipley with a first round bye. They'll take on the winner of Malone and Poplar Springs. Cottondale and Sneads will also have a first round bye and play each other in the second round. And a very important game right here, folks, in that district tournament right here. Chipley, Cottondale, and Sneads all make it to the second round. It's going to be interesting to see who comes up with the district championship right here, because all three of those teams have a perfect shot of winning that championship. And the only way I think you're going to get into the district or the playoffs is by winning the championship here out of District 3, because as you can see right here in District 4, a very, very strong district where I think three of the four teams will come from District 4 here in the final ranking. So that District 3 championship is very, very important. Bozeman here in District 4, your number one team, they'll have the bye. They'll take on the winner of Weehawken and number 5 Vernon there in the second round. Port St. Joe and Franklin County, both very good teams this year, will match up against each other going into the second round. Bozeman, Port St. Joe, Franklin County, I think those are the top 3 teams that'll make it to the Final Four. Whoever wins District 3 championship gets the automatic bid. So we'll see how this matches up coming up here in Region 1 and 2 in Class 1A. Let's now go to Region 3 in Class 1A, your number one team after the final rankings, Lafayette out of Mayo. They will also be seated number 1 in District 6. Number 2, Union County. Number 3, Blountstown will be your number 1 seed in District 5. And at number 4, Madison County. Next 2 out, Liberty County and Hamilton County, both with a shot there after the district championships to get into that Final Four. In Region 4, Class 1A, number 1 team, Newberry, will be your number 1 seed in District 7, followed by Trenton at number 2, Chiefland at number 3, and number 4, Glades Day, is your number 1 seed with an automatic bid into the Final Four for the playoffs. But look over to the right, folks. Dixie County out of 7. Again, District 7 here, we'll talk about that, is a very strong district. Look for 3 of the 4 teams to be out of District 7 in the state playoffs. Whoever comes out of this championship in District 8 will be the at-large or the district champ automatic bid for slot number 4. Dixie County still ranked higher than Glades Day. Williston still with a shot as well if they win that district championship there. So let's quickly look at District 5. Go back to Blountstown being the first round bye. They will take on the winner of Wakulla Christian School and Alpha there in the second round. Madison County will take on Jefferson County in the first round. Liberty County will take on Osceola Christian also in the first round. The winners of those 2 teams will match up in round 2. In District 6, Lafayette Mayo, your number 1 team in the Region 3, will have a first-round bye. They'll take on the winner of number 4 Hilliard and number 5 Brantford there in the second round. Number 2 Union County also has a first-round bye. They'll take on the winner of number 3 Hamilton County and number 6 Fort White. They're also in round 2. And let's get to the fun. District 7, Newberry, first round bye because they do get the number 1 seed. They'll take on the winner of Dixie County and Bell there in the second round. Trenton and Chiefland also with a first round bye. They will take on each other in the second round. And again, as we mentioned before, 3 of these 4 spots will probably be at District 17. And if you look right there in the district semifinals, Newberry, Trenton, and Chiefland, they will probably be in that top 4 coming in. It's just a matter of who wins that championship to gets the better seed in that round. So in that division. So we'll go quickly now to District 8 and round out these baseball rankings. Number 1, Glades Day. They get the first round bye with the number 1 seed. They will take on number 4, the winner of number 4 Wildwood and number 5 Pahokee there in the second round. Number 2 Williston and number 3 Bronson both have a first round bye and will play each other in the second round. Williston, probably the closest one that can gain any ground on Glades Day. They'll probably match up in the district championship. We'll see who comes out on top of that one right there, because the district champion will have an automatic bid into that number 4 spot here in Region 4 for that state championship. So a lot of baseball, folks, that to be played. It was so much fun going over everything with you. Now you know where everybody's set up in the district tournaments. Make sure to get out and root for your favorite baseball team, because it's going to be a great time coming down here to the end of the season. District tournaments set up, everything for the state tournament. Still so many teams have an opportunity to get into the state playoffs. Even though they don't show up right now, they're still on the bubble. Things can happen during these district tournaments that we've seen in other sports that just knock everybody silly as far as where everybody stacks up when the dust finally settles coming up next week after the championships. Folks, stay tuned here on Varsity Sports Network here on the Sports Zone. We're going to bring you updated information on the brackets every day that they come out, every game that they're played. So make sure if you can't catch us, go to FHSAA.com or maxpreps.com for the latest updated information as well, because that's where we get our stats from as too. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we've got more here on the Sports Zone here on the Varsity Sports Network. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back right after this.